But for example, when I go and sit in front of a piano and I start to play the first tones, it just takes a few seconds, and I'm in that world again where I'm connected to my emotions. It's all about connecting to the own emotion. That's for me. And if I play a concert, it feels like that it's all about connecting to emotions for all the people who are coming.
Martin, it's so lovely to talk to you.
Hello, Petra.
I've been following you on Instagram and seeing your wonderful videos and also the visuals of your concerts. So, but first tell me, where are you based at the moment?
I was born and raised in Berlin.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I still live here. It's my home because all the people I love the most and have a long-term connection with living in Berlin. So that's my home, and I can do nothing about it, actually.
Really?
A wonderful love and hate relationship with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so you grew up there, and this is where you then started playing the piano. What age were you when you started playing?
I was 18 years old. I was grown up, actually, when I started playing the piano. Yeah. That, by the way, that's the most common question I'm asked also by listeners. When do you started to play piano? I'm always a bit wondering, why is this the first question to ask? And then they always wonder that I started when I was 18 years old, because people see something in me, I guess, that I don't see myself. They see the man who practiced a lot the piano and who's worked hard for it and stuff, but I am not that person, actually. It's just a projection. I started when I was 18 years old. I just pushed the keys. I didn't have a teacher in the beginning, the first 2 years. And I just did it, and I never practiced the piano as regular pianists do when they study the piano, for example. And I still have the feeling that people see me as a studied pianist, but I'm far away from it. Really far away. I started when I was 18 and I played the violin before for 10 years. But I was always really bad with it because it was the wrong instrument for me. Because I can be more creative on the piano, way more creative, as you can write full songs on a piano. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is wonderful, because this is the perception that we have, that you have to start at the age of 4, or you have to start at the age of 6, and you have to have this whole path that you have to study the piano. And yet you come as an artist and you use the piano and you create, and you absolutely, I mean, seeing you play it, you can see the love that you have for the instrument. So I find that wonderful that you can tell this story.
Yeah, there's nothing but love for the instrument, actually. But in the beginning, I thought to call myself a musician, I need a proper education for it. And that's totally wrong, actually. You just need the love for the instrument. And if you want to play 4 notes the whole life, you can do that if you love it, and all your songs are only a container for those 4 tones, for example, then you are a musician at the end. But it's so hard for a young man or woman or whatever who wants to find their own role in the world, not to be driven by all the pictures we have in our minds. When we start, it's nearly impossible. You have to find out for yourself that there is nothing certain. You need to be to become who you want to be. Yeah.
Oh, that is, well, that's so true. And I've actually spoken to a actor who also said the same thing, that he studied architecture and that he, at a point, just decided, but that was acting that he wanted to do, and he didn't have the formal training. So I'm totally with you. You cannot define the artist just because of the time that they spend or the education part of it. So you are an absolute wonderful example then of somebody who found his passion or found his way of expressing. So this is the way of, you feel that this is the best way for you to express yourself.
Yes, or one of the best ways. I think there's always something to discover, and I think I will discover even more ways of expressing myself. But it's for me the most intuitive one, and yeah, and the one I can instantly express myself. For example, listening to music or making music is like, for me, it's like getting in touch with myself on a highway, on the fastest way. It's like sometimes even like instantly, not always. But for example, when I go and sit in front of a piano and I start to play the first tones, it just takes a few seconds and I'm in that world again where I'm connected to my emotions. It's all about connecting to the own emotion. That's for me. And if I play a concert, it feels like that it's all about connecting to emotions for all the people who are coming. And so, and with my music, it's not the music, it's just a medium to give myself and the people who are listening an opportunity to connect with themselves and then others. So the music, it's just something that comes along with it. It could be something different as well, but that's the medium I chose naturally. Yeah.
But do you think you, in this way, that you have more freedom? That say sometimes you hear the part that's the educating. So, for example, I've heard a photographer say that uh, it's when she started studying photography that she realized, or that there was a lot of boundaries then for her, that she wasn't so much free to, because she was constantly thinking, oh no, this is probably wrong also. So do you think this way that you are doing it is that you have the freedom and that you don't have those type of boundaries that comes with the strict education of it?
Yes. In the end, I'm very thankful for the way I could approach the piano. That I didn't was forced into um, a certain teaching, um, that I have to play the piano in a certain way. For example, also a music manager once told me that they have a bit of a problem often with uh, artists that studied the piano for decades in a certain way, beginning with teachers in their childhood, then transferring over to the masters at their universities and stuff, and that there often something is getting lost, although they are absolutely perfectly trained and perfect with playing the piano. And I'm in the end, I'm really lucky because um, I made it just for me, not to fit in a certain role of a pianist or of a kind of uh, elite musician, because that's what people often connect the classical music to. And yeah, that, for me it was really only about making music, and we just have a nice anecdote from a concert of mine uh, that happened a few days ago, actually. Um, and at the end of the show, a person, I haven't been there, but this is the story. A person came up to a friend of mine who was also supporting us at the show at the entrance or the exit in this case, and she said, "Ah, it was horrible," or something like that. Just four chords, or I think three, just three chords the whole time, just three chords. So she was really at rage
Yeah.
and said just three chords and something like that. And then she left without discussing it further. And that's a wonderful example. Um, it's more than three chords, but I know what she meant. It was too minimal for her. And yeah, I think it's wonderful because the people who are sitting at my shows, they listen to the music as I'm playing it, just with a heart. I
Yeah.
don't give, I don't give a peep how many chords there are. It's just, is it moving me? Is it making me vibrant? Is it making me feel alive, or is it not? And I'm not interested to make intellectual music. Intellectual music is fine. It's like reading an intellectual book or seeing an intellectual film or playing chess if you want to, but that's not my discipline. And the person who was there was just at the wrong place at the wrong time,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that is not my discipline. That it's not what it's about for me, and it may never will be, because that's my passion. Um, yeah, to to feel that life as long as it's there, because it's just a wonderful feeling to feel.
Yeah, but it's true that you say, it's just not for everybody. If it's not for somebody, then they should just not come. Or it's that it's your expression and your way. And but I find it wonderful that you have that individuality about it. That it's the way you express yourself, it's the way you communicate the music, and that you are not sort of influenced by other ways and or uh, bothered about the fact that it's not, like you say, so academic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's not academic. It's
Yeah.
absolutely not academic, and part of my ego sometimes wants also more, uh, wants the academic people to see more of my shows, for example. um, Sometimes it's like that. Why are not all the people, all the different kinds of people coming to my shows? Because that's not the case. Not everybody is coming, of course not. And sometimes my ego wants everybody to see or to feel what I am doing. But then afterwards, I'm always thinking, no, I do certain things for certain people because I'm a
Yeah.
certain person, you know, and then it's fine again. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit like that as well. And I believe you attract the people that you need to attract, to what
Yeah.
you are doing. So if and I always, if people don't like what I do, I always just think it's not, they don't see what I'm showing or what I'm doing, so they can't understand it. So that's also then fine. But your concerts are amazing. I mean, you just the light and what you bring, it's wonderful. What you're very creative in how you do your concerts, which I find also fascinating. I think it's not just the experience of the sound that you hear, but it's also the visuals that you have. Do you do this all yourself? I mean, do you create? Do you see this when you do the music?
Um, no, I have big and wonderful help now.
Mm.
Um, actually not too long ago now. The light show is made by another great Martin, as you
Oh,
can say,
really?
Martin
Yeah.
Heining, a wonderful guy who's making the light show now. And I also have a great audio engineer now who's mixing the show, and I have great tour management and stuff. So I have a team now, but I was touring for years without really professional help and tour management, just with friends. It was a wonderful experience to do it with really good friends of mine, but also in the end quite exhausting because it was just too much and overwhelming. And now I have the possibility to cooperate with other artists, because light show is also an art, sound is an art,
Yeah.
and also organizing is an art form for itself. And I can do this with other person now together, although I'm the face on stage. And I let go. Uh, we talked about a bit about the vision, but in the end, they do what they feel is good for the show, and I really trust them. And this gives me more space to play the piano and have a look at the music more. And yeah, and before that, it was just a few lamps on stage, lights off, lamps on, and then I was playing without any visuals. And that's also fine, because for me it's like I want to connect with the people also by the things I'm saying. I'm talking a lot on stage. I want to find the right mixture of music and sad words. Um, but yeah, it's for me it's really important to talk to the people, because that's that's the two possibilities I have on stage. I can play music and I can talk to my audience. There are more possibilities, but not at my shows. So yeah, and I love to connect as well with them. I want to know who is there, who is sitting there, and I want to hear them. And I love when people say, scream, for example, woohoo. Not if they not only clap, but
Oh,
if they
oh,
woohoo,
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
they're getting, or if somebody says something, if
Mhm.
it's not in between the songs. So
Yeah.
I want to invite the people more, and I'm trying to get better in this subject as well, to yeah, give them a chance to be part of the show, although they don't have to be. They can also sit just in silence and in darkness and enjoy the show, but they are invited to show themselves as well. So there's a lot of things I will want to find out and try in the future with them.
But that's amazing. I mean, this is what I have been talking about for a while now. Is to ask musicians, for example, do you talk about the music? Because I think it's also important to talk about the music or talk what you are playing, and sort of well, not tell people what to think, but to tell the story or to tell something where it's almost for people who are not musicians to just get that little um, spark, to
Hmm.
start thinking, to get their ideas going. Because this is what I sometimes need in a concert, or yeah, when I hear music, or even when I see an artwork, I sometimes just want to understand a little bit and then let my mind um, go. And I think it's wonderful that you do that. It's a
Hmm.
wonderful connection, not just through the music, but just through your talking as well.
Hmm.
So, do you tell stories about your music, or what exactly do you communicate there?
um, yeah, I say a bit sometimes what happened in between, how I feel, maybe. For example, that I was in the beginning of the last shows, I mentioned that I'm actually stunned that finally we can even meet again, and now maybe with a pause again. Uh, but that I nearly have forgotten how it felt to be on a stage, and I also had forgotten how it felt to see a concert myself. And we always had to postpone all the concerts again and again and again. And in the end, I was totally disconnected to this experience. And then it happened again, and it was there again. And I thought, okay, we are still fighting for something here that we nearly have forgotten because we get used to situations. The people even get used to war situations in other countries where it's even worse, where they have a really tough life. They get used to it and forget what freedom once felt like if they have ever witnessed it. And with the life shows, it's a bit like this, the same. We beginning how that we once had the to forget that we once had the freedom to go into a place where a lot of people are sitting or standing or even dancing right next to each other. And but it was there back then. It was there. Not too long ago. Although now it feels to me that it was really long ago, but it was there, and it's great not to forget and to remind oneself. And that was happening for me when I played these shows the last months. It was a big reminder. Yeah, it was there, and let's try that it is like that in the future again, because it's so wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is also something that I think about, is that how we appreciate this now more. You know, that how we just accepted it always, but now appreciate it. These concerts, going to the concert as an audience member, and of course for you also a different feeling when you get the opportunity again.
Yes.
But in this time, did you experiment a lot? Did you find this time sort of that you grew in a way because you had more time in a different way as a musician?
um, I had more time as a person, not as a musician actually. So I made new music, but very um, meditative, sensual, and um, calm stuff actually, because I needed to calm down myself. I would consider myself to be a bit in a midlife crisis. So I'm getting new perspectives on a lot of things, on the past, present, but also a bit of the future, I hope. But it's more about past and present actually, to let go of certain images I have for myself and to open up more for new things. And so to be in a crisis is often really needs a lot of energy and time and space. And I think these crazy times we are in right now, they enforced this process. And because I was confronted even more with these things that wanted to be seen. And I got the feeling that it's not only happening to me, that there are a lot of people out there who are more confronted with their with parts of themselves they consciously or unconsciously hide were hiding before. And so I see it as a huge chance actually. So I was more growing up as a person, and I think in the end my music will also reflect that, and something new will come out of it. And I'm starting again to really be inspired, and I want to branch out in some new directions also. For example, to sing more. I want to sing
Oh,
more on
wow.
stage. So to make more songs with vocals. Maybe I do even do a full vocals album one day where I'm singing all of the songs.
Wow.
Although that's not what the people expecting actually, but um, that's what wants to come out of me, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I think you are right about this, that people have had time to think a lot, and also, like you say, confronted by things that we don't always have time to think about, or that life has stood still for a while to deal with all these things. But this is amazing that you um, see it as that new things started, because I see this time period as well as where new things are born from this, and that I think that the music industry would and art itself would give us so much more now, because people have this time to reflect and maybe discovered new things about themselves, that you now say that you can um, do vocals with your music as well. That's amazing. So and you did you always know you had a good voice to sing?
No, I hated my voice in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, like 10 years ago when I started to sing a bit,
Mm,
it's like I'm not a singer. And sometimes I still think I'm not a singer. Actually, I do not practice to sing. I
mm,
should, because I could be a better singer then.
mm,
Um, but yeah, I, I, for example, when people say they listen to to a recording of their own voice, if they just say something, not singing, just saying something, that they are afraid of their voice or thought, because our inner voice sounds so different from the one
yeah.
here. And yeah, that's the process to um, to really embrace what we are also, and to not to try to change what we are to others, for example, with that inner voice.
Yeah.
And that's so tough. It's always also tough for me when I sing on stage. Now I'm singing just 2 songs out of 20 songs maybe I play at a show, just 2. And especially when I write a new song where I'm singing, I'm so unsecure, because I hear my own voice break. I hear that it's not as good as the voice of real singers that people are used to when they go to a concert where a person is singing. You hear that I'm not that good. You hear my insecurity. You hear that I am not a singer actually. And this makes me really afraid. But at the same time, I think, yeah, I do this also for me. I don't want, I don't want to be just a performer, just an entertainer. The stage is a part of my story. And if I want to sing on stage, I have to sing on stage. And I know that the most of the people are coming because of my piano stuff. And that's still 90% of the show. And that's what they are getting. And that's good, because I promised them I will play the piano, and I play the piano and I like it. But to keep them open for other possibilities. And I always say, um, if you like my singing now, because I'm gonna sing a song for you now, if you like my singing, it's all good. If you don't like my singing, it's also all good, because afterwards I play a piano song again.
Oh, okay.
So, and everybody's a winner then. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's what how I try to discover new things, but still um, um, giving my audience what they expected, and
Mm.
also can expect from a show of mine.
But I think this is amazing. I think this is actually what art is about. It is to show that vulnerable side as well, and to show, to do what you feel that has to come to expression. That I think is wonderful. And maybe, it's like we talked before, maybe it is the rules of society, or the rules, or there are too many rules in art, that prevent people or make people not have that freedom to express themselves in that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. I would love to come to one of your concerts.
Yeah. You're welcome. Would love to. If you would also come in Vienna. You are in Vienna, right?
I'm in Vienna. Yeah. Are you coming
We
to
are playing,
Vienna?
I think in April.
Really?
April. I think in April we are coming to Vienna. Also had to postpone all these shows there,
Yeah.
but we are coming also to Austria. Um,
I would
uh,
love to.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's happening soon. But one thing you said about art, and
Yeah.
as I'm thinking about it now, maybe art, music, painting, lyrics, or prosa, or whatever art there exists. Uh, you could define also art as uh, just letting go of all the rules, even more and more and more. Yeah, until there is no rule anymore. And this sounds, yeah, way easier. It's way easier said than done, actually.
Mm.
It's really, really tough to yeah, to get rid of all the constructions we have about art, because we always want people also to um, um, how do you say, um,
Conform almost.
yeah, to also to understand it,
Yeah.
but at the same time be real in it. We
Yeah.
want that they understand it, but at the same time it's a true expression.
Yeah.
That's that's the art form in art itself, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've spoken to also a young violinist, and he's said that the pressure to be so perfect, has made him lose the interest in his instrument. And this, for me, is very sad to think that that pressure that artists, that people have put on art, has now made that one person is now not so eager anymore to play the instrument. And I think that is a sad thing, because we never know what comes from people, what people can give to art, or as a form of art.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a huge collective trauma, actually, that from one generation to the other, um, the the kids are put in a certain role that they always have to free themselves from,
Yeah,
and it's tough. It's really sad, actually, that there are that we are in some way are pressured in certain roles, that we need, that we have the feeling that we need to fit in.
yeah,
And we get, and where does this feeling come from? It comes from each other. We are all supporting that feeling in a way. You need to fit in, now you, and often our whole surrounding is saying to us, you need to fit in. That means also that we are saying to others that they need to fit in. So it's, and to reverse that process, you don't need to fit in, and people say you be free, you don't need to fit in. I think that's one of the greatest tasks mankind has to approach now. It's
yeah.
it's really, really, really important. We could save the world with that stuff, actually.
Yeah,
without sounding too pathetic, but that's what it actually feels like, because then it's not so much about economics in the end. We don't for it's these topics are also connected to climate change, to gender equality. It's all connected to that stuff, because yeah, there's so much we could find out how less we would need to be happy if we just free ourselves uh,
exactly.
with the help of one another. That's what I
Yeah.
really truly believe in.
Well, I can tell you this from a photography point of view. So for example, I don't believe in editing. You know, I would edit in the sense that I will manipulate the light a little bit, or you know, if it was a situation where it was my underexposed or so, but editing faces I don't prefer to do. And in this time, it's a very difficult standpoint, because people want their pictures to be as, you know, unnatural as possible.
Mm.
And in my photography when I photographed the artists in their windows, for example, I never edited the buildings. If there was a hole in the building, I left it there. If there were marks on the walls, and also the artists in the windows, I didn't do anything to it. I just left it as natural as possible. Yet these people are so beautiful in their natural, just naturally. You know, some of them didn't even have big hair and makeup and things. It was just naturally how they were in these windows.
Mm.
And then if I compare it sometimes to the profile pictures that is so overly edited that you sometimes don't even recognize the faces. And I think that's also a way of pressure. You know, it's also this pressure of how perfect uh, do you want your appearance to be, and that spills over into the art, or the perfection from the art spills then over to that you're not even happy with your appearance. And I found that very sad, because I think people are beautiful in a natural way, in their natural beauty and in age and things like that. And I think we are also putting pressure on things like that, like the appearance of things.
Yeah, it is
Mm,
absolutely sad.
yeah.
Exclamation mark. It is absolutely sad. It's yeah, you can't say that enough, because I do not own, and I don't think I know a single person who is not um, challenged by the impact, for example, of self-representation on the internet, of
Yeah.
Instagram, of Facebook, and the people I talk to, they all know. They all know it. They Facebook gives me a bad, or Instagram, it gives me a bad feeling, and I'm addicted to that stuff and addicted to likes, and it's there's so much fake going on. Everybody knows it.
Yeah. Mm.
Everybody is angry about it, or uh, um, yeah.
Say the German
Uh,
word.
everybody now even the German word doesn't come
Oh,
to my mind anymore.
okay.
All my language is gone. No, but everybody is angry about these
Yeah,
facts, but still we
but they
are
do
in it.
it.
And
Yeah.
that is sad, actually.
Yeah.
And we need to to give that kind of a moment of silence to really embrace the
Yeah.
fact that it is actually sad, and that is sad that we know, but we do not really act upon it. We don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So and we should do something about it. Really should think about how we use a filter, or what to post, or uh, if it's not even a bit better if without posting a new picture of mine with a filter on it or stuff, I call a good friend of mine and say, I'm sorry that we haven't spoken for so long, and I want to tell you that it's yeah, beautiful that you are still in my life. Let's meet.
Yeah.
Although there may be some things we haven't spoken about because it was too we were too afraid about it to
Mm.
reconnect. But instead, we look at our phones and next, or
Yeah.
we look at TikTok, which is even more horrible. What a horrible app! It's just insanely bad,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what we do, and we become these zombies, and we all know it. We
Mm.
all know it. It's common sense, but we still don't do anything about it, and that is sad. And that's
Yeah.
the end of my small rant here.
No,
And
but
as you can see, I'm pretty angry about it, actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean, I think no, I totally agree with you. But I think if social media, so I could reach a lot of people on social media with my project, and this is why I do this,
yeah,
because I think this is what social media has the advantage of. But I also think it's like you say, you know, um, if we could use it in a positive way to educate or to make things aware. It's like I would not have been able to know about you had it not been for Instagram, for example. And I
yeah,
can now see, even though I haven't been at your concerts, I can see what it's like, and it's inviting, and it's
yeah.
that I think is a wonderful thing. But yeah, I think people should be more real on Facebook, because I must honestly say all the artists that I photographed unedited are so beautiful, because I can see the personalities, you know, and I can see the real person in that window. And I think this is why these pictures for me are so precious, because it's so real. And I think it's the realness that in art as well, I think that is what speaks. Um, so that's what we have to continue doing, I believe.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
Martin, now I want to know about your chocolate love, because you're you're a chocolate lover.
Um, uh, I am. I want to eat less chocolate.
Oh, okay.
I think I heard once from a friend of mine, the Germans eat 20 kilograms of chocolate each year. They are the world champions in eating chocolate.
Really?
And I am part of that world championship team,
Yeah.
but I don't want to be anymore.
Okay. But what
I
do you
would
like?
like to eat more healthy, and there's still a lot of work to do that
Yeah.
I'm allowed to do and looking forward to.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. But do you eat dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
milk chocolate.
Okay, because if you eat dark chocolate, there are some health benefits to that, so you can switch.
Dark chocolate as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, it's and do you eat? I mean, are you a sweet tooth? Do you eat sweet things overall, or is it just the chocolate?
I eat, if I would uh, switch from the amount of sweet things I eat to the amount of healthy things I
Yeah.
eat, then I would eat really healthy.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I eat a lot of sweets,
Yeah.
but it's changing because I'm in the middle of my life, maybe somewhere in the middle, maybe,
Yeah.
and I'm really in love with life actually, and I really in love with my body because it carries me through that life.
Mm.
So yeah, I want to cherish my body even more. So that means not so many sweets, Martin, and not so many pizza and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. But now over Christmas, you should wait till New Year, because over Christmas, I mean, there are too many lovely things to have over Christmas. That's sweet.
Yeah,
You should
exactly.
enjoy them.
I will start at the 1st of January 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have Stollen first before you can stop eating
Yeah.
sweets. Yeah, there's a lovely baker in Munich who bakes Stollen for the Queen. So maybe you can have your sweet Stollen there from him.
Yeah. With the in winter, it's also fine to eat chocolate and stuff because it's so gray
Yeah,
and dark. Now also with this Corona situation and stuff, it's even more gray and dark. So we have the license to eat chocolates even now,
yeah.
like
No,
James
this,
Bond, just with chocolate, not with killing. We have the
yeah,
license to do it, and to get through this, yeah, crazy time again, where we
yeah,
finally, hopefully, soon enough, will switch over to another phase. Yeah.
yeah. So, but tell me now, what do you do before a concert? How do you have little rituals before you go on stage?
Um, yes, I'm trying to be alone at least 30 minutes before in a room where I am alone. 1 hour is even better, depending on how much stuff is to do still on stage, or if I have eaten before already, and I'm stretch my body a bit. I will stretch it even more in the future, but that's what I'm getting used to more and more, to do a bit of yoga. And yeah, and
And
being
what
a
do
bit
you?
of silence. That's good. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm also listening to music, which pushes me in a vibrant state.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so where that is really activating me, to be kind of in a in a fighter mode actually. Uh,
Really? Hmm.
yeah. Uh,
Like what type of music?
um, energetic music, like sometimes pop, electro, or
Oh yeah.
even EDM. Even EDM. I really like also a lot of mainstream stuff that has a kind of certain rhythms, or an epic song by Niels Frahm is Sass. This song always brings me in a really vibrant and powerful new mood that I want to carry on stage. It's like really pushing you on stage. You're really pushed by this kind of music, and um, carried through.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say, yeah.
And the meal, did you have a meal before the performance, or do you have
Yeah.
to be on an empty stomach?
In the past, I often forgot to eat actually.
Really?
But there was so much to do for me because I didn't have the support I have now. I had to drive the car. I had to build up all that stuff. I had to talk to people from the venue. I had to, um, with friends of mine, of course, they helped me out, but we had to do it all by our own. So I often forgot how to eat because there was no time. And now um, we have, how do you say, there's catering, for
Oh, I
example,
see. Okay,
or
yeah.
the manager or two manager or order some food for us and stuff. So it's all good now. Um, but it needed to be good now as well, as because if I would have continued to work like this, I would have been a victim of my own burnout. I would burned out, and I was close to it actually.
Yeah.
So it's prevented now.
Yeah.
um, but things
And
have to change. Yeah.
yeah. But I think it's wonderful that you collaborate also, and that you give other people also that creative input in your performances. This
Yeah.
is, yeah. But now I'm a girl. I have to ask you this. What do you wear? How do you choose your outfits for the performance? Do you have specific things that do you style it now according to how you play and the lighting and so on, or do you just go with it?
I have a few suits that I have, and now I just have a black suit.
Yeah.
Look had a bit of Asian influence, a
Yeah.
bit like it's a mixture of a priest and a Zen master, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's the suit I'm always wearing because I don't have to decide what I'm wearing on stage. I just wear the same suit each concert. It is like the Ritterrüstung. What's in English? What's the Ritter?
Yeah. A knight, like a knight's
Knight.
armor. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my knight armor. I always
Oh,
put
okay.
it on, and then
Yeah.
I'm in knight armor fight mode.
Okay. Oh, that's
I don't have to think about it anymore. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful to
yeah.
have. And maybe I change the suit next tour. We see, but I really like it
Yeah.
actually. And uh, yeah, it's. And sometimes I'm also thinking about what would it feel like if I don't change dresses. If I
Yeah.
don't change my dress, it has pros and cons. For example, um, there's a certain culture is off the show because the people also sometimes like to dress in a certain way when they come to a show, and it's part of the culture. And if
Yeah.
they say, okay, the artist also comes with a dress, it's part of our culture. We celebrate something with that culture. And on the other hand, if you say to the people, forget about the things you're wearing, just come with your heart and mind and forget about what you want to look like. I do it the same way. It also has it's another culture. It's
Yeah.
another culture. Maybe I'm inviting the people to certain shows. Please don't give a fuck about the things you are wearing. I do the same.
Yeah.
Because that also gives the show a certain mindset, which can be quite interesting.
Yeah. I think so. This is also what some artists have been saying, that sometimes people are maybe intimidated also when they go to a concert and everybody is so dressed up. And but on the other hand, it's also part of the like you say, part of the culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think maybe it's also your signature then, your signature outfit. Like, you'll be recognized by that specific way of dressing. That can also be.
Yes, yeah. The people
Yeah.
think remember the look.
Yeah.
Marketing, for example, if you
Yeah.
have a certain look or a certain graphic design and stuff, that's marketing. It's easier to be remembered and to to know what a person is doing and stuff. But that's actually just the marketing
Yeah.
to yeah. In the end, I would love to go on stage without putting on any other. Of course, I wouldn't play naked,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the things I'm just wearing, I think it could also change the music I'm playing.
Mhm.
If I can go on stage and I think to myself, the people won't be angry with me that I'm not wearing my fine suit today. They like me without the fine, shiny suit. Hmm. Okay, if they like me without that fine, shiny suit, then I don't need to be afraid that I make mistakes in my song or push the wrong keys. Hmm. If I don't need to be afraid that I'm of making mistakes and push the wrong keys, then I can really enjoy my music. Hmm. If I'm really enjoying my music, maybe the people are also enjoying the concerts then.
Yeah,
Hmm. And that's what it's actually all about.
yeah,
And it's actually always all about not to forget about it, because we construct so many things that makes us forgetting about let us accept ourselves and each other.
yeah,
It's really important, actually.
yeah,
You see, it's really a passionate topic of mine right now as well, but I think also in the future, it's a really important question. How can we show ourselves to others and be seen, and vice versa? And the stage has on stage all the stages in the world, if it's politics, economics, environmental, or art, or music, have a certain responsibility to inspire people in this direction.
yeah.
That's what I would say. It's our responsibility as artists to help ourselves and others to be more free, and therefore more loving and caring
Mhm.
for ourselves, others, and yeah, the whole environment. Yeah.
But I spoke to a young pianist, Charlie Albright, from America, and he was telling me that his first concert he did in Carnegie Hall, he wanted to do an encore, and he decided to do Great Balls of Fire, and
Yeah.
he was nervous to do it because it's Carnegie Hall, and he did his concerto. And after it, he just decided he's going to take the risk, and he played as an encore Great Balls of Fire. And he said the people were standing and clapping and just uh, so delighted that he did it. And it was a risk. And I was also thinking, yeah, because it's Carnegie Hall, and it's almost like you think, what is the rules there? You cannot play Great Balls of Fire on the piano. But
Mm.
it's this type of thing, that it's the artist that has that freedom to do it, and then suddenly the people in the audience also uh, stood up and expressed themselves through hearing how he played it. So it's completely right what you are saying. It's these rules that shouldn't be there, really.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean that culture shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Culture is wonderful. That that if we cultivate the certain behaviors, for example, rituals. It is a ritual also to go in a certain way to a certain place to do certain things. It gives us a hold. It holds us. Rituals are giving us security and stuff. But at the same time, it should be the ritual and not the pressure who is
Yeah.
the motivation for it. And so we always have the freedom to stay who we, or to show who we really are as an a producer, audience, or contributor, or participant in whatever way
Mm.
in life. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. But now, the very important question now is, what do you drink after a performance, wine or beer?
Um, yeah. I don't drink alcohol because it's not my cup of tea. Actually, it
Oh, I
just
see. Okay. Yeah.
just does not my taste. That's all.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing more behind it.
Yeah.
Um,
So how do you wind down then after a performance?
um, yeah, it's chilling with people who drink beer.
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
for example, in December, it should be the first time in December where we tour with the tour bus, so we have more time in the different cities to calm down and chill and spend some time at the place and with each other in front, after or before a show.
Yeah.
Uh, it's postponed now to April, this tour, but it will happen again I just want normally after a show, I just want to chill um, with with my crew and to get closer to them and getting to know them a bit better, if and just to calm down in this family surrounding.
Yeah.
There are so many people, and then I want to calm down and go back to the family. Um, yeah,
Yeah, because this is something that your adrenaline, of course, is very heightened when after a performance. So this is also
yeah,
this time that you have to just calm down and
yeah. No, it's also great to be in an energetic party mode, but
yeah.
I want to do whatever I want to have it with people I know.
Mm,
This feels, yeah, feels more healthy, good for me. It's just what I want after a show,
yeah.
uh, because I show myself quite vulnerable,
Vulnerable, yeah. Yeah.
vulnerable on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
what seems to be important to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
So Martin, just a last question now. What is your wish? What is your
Uh,
wish for the future?
for myself or for everybody,
Yeah,
or yeah.
anything, a wish that you have.
Um, my wish would be um, that um, we support each other a bit more to have a, a, a look inside, um, that we support each other, that we get closer to each other and have that healing look inside. For example, why am I getting angry sometimes? Um, why do we have certain kinds of behavior, and what is missing, and to find out what's missing, and afterwards um, yeah, completing that whole of us in healing ourselves with the help of each other. I don't want to sound too spiritual because I'm a huge fan of psychology also, uh, and the natural laws of psychology, and also uh, bits of spirituality and stuff. Um, but that what it feels really logical to me, if we know why we have certain fears and emotions, that we can, yeah, act differently and in a more um, how you say, and we can protect each other and the world a bit more if we know why we do the things that we do, why we do the toxic stuff, or why we do um, the the stuff that is more loving. And we can, yeah, we can support in each other in discovering ourselves. That would be my wish, yeah.
Mm. Well, that's a wonderful wish, and I agree with you there. I think it's sometimes we don't always we sometimes react without thinking what the other person could have gone through, um,
Yeah.
and that is something that yeah. But also I think when you have inner peace, then it's also easier to understand um,
Yeah.
others. Yeah. But yeah, well, this is a beautiful wish, and I agree with this wish of yours. I wish it too for us as a society, and I think as now, especially now in this time, I think it's so important that we do that. That we think about
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Mm. Martin, this was so lovely to talk to you. really.
Yeah,
It's
thank
been,
you for your time.
yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah.